Imagine looking up at the sky and realizing that some of the biggest machines flying above you don't even have a pilot inside. No windows, no cockpit, no human hands touching the controls. Just massive flying machines making their own decisions in real time. Sounds like science fiction, right? But here's the twist. This future isn't coming. It's already here. And once you see the drones on this list, those little camera drones you see online will feel like toys. Today, you're about to discover the 10 biggest drones that are quietly revolutionizing everything from how we travel to how wars are fought. Some of these machines carry people, others refuel fighter jets in midair, and one of them is literally as big as a commercial airplane. Stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll never look at the sky the same way again. Let's start with a drone that shocked the world by doing something no one thought would happen this soon. Carrying people through the air with no pilot at all. The EHang 216 looks like it flew straight out of a futuristic movie, but it's very real. Built by Chinese company EHang, this autonomous passenger drone first took flight in 2018, and it instantly changed the conversation around urban air travel. Instead of one big rotor like a helicopter, it uses 16 electric motors spread across 8 arms. That design isn't just for looks. It means the aircraft can stay stable even if multiple motors fail. You step inside, choose your destination, sit back, and the drone handles everything on its own. No steering wheel, no flight controls, just trust in software, sensors, and artificial intelligence. The EHang 216 can fly at speeds of around 80 miles per hour and carry 2 adults at a time. It's being tested in countries all over the world, from China to South Korea to the Middle East, completing tens of thousands of test flights. And here's the part that really blows people's minds. In some places, it's already approved for commercial operations. That means this isn't a prototype locked away in a lab. It's a working aircraft. There's even a story about a billionaire in Dubai who bought 2 of them just to fly guests from his skyscraper to his yacht. No traffic, no pilot, just straight across the skyline. Think that's wild? The next drone feels like it came straight out of a Japanese anime dot in Japan. Engineers asked a bold question. What if flying taxis didn't look like helicopters at all? The answer became the SkyDrive SDO5, sleek, compact, and futuristic. This aircraft was designed specifically for crowded cities where space is limited and noise matters. It uses 12 electric rotors arranged in pairs, giving it stability and redundancy while keeping it surprisingly quiet. When it lifts off, it doesn't roar. It hums, and that's intentional. Cities don't want flying machines that sound like war zones. The SkyDrive can carry 2 people and is designed for short hops between rooftops, business districts, and transport hubs. It doesn't need a runway. It rises straight up, cruises smoothly, and lands in spaces no traditional aircraft ever could. What makes it even more interesting is who's backing it. Toyota engineers played a major role in its development, bringing automotive precision into aviation. During early demonstrations, the SkyDrive flew inside a sports stadium, hovering calmly while thousands watched below. People describe it as watching the future arrive early. But if you think a piloted air taxi is impressive, wait until you meet a drone that doesn't even include a pilot seat in Silicon Valley. Engineers at Wisk Aero decided to remove the human from the cockpit entirely. The result is the Wisk Gen 6, one of the most advanced autonomous passenger aircraft ever built. This drone carries a single passenger and absolutely no pilot. There are no manual controls on board. Everything from takeoff to landing is handled by artificial intelligence, monitored remotely from the ground. It uses 12 rotors to lift vertically and then switches to a rear propeller for fast, efficient forward flight. The Gen 6 can reach speeds over 130 miles per hour and has been designed with extreme safety in mind. Every critical system has multiple backups. If something fails, another system instantly takes over. This drone has already completed thousands of autonomous test flights, including emergency scenarios without a single person touching the controls. Think about that for a second. A flying machine making decisions on its own, carrying a human passenger and doing it safely. That's not the future of aviation. That's the present dot. But now let's scale things up. Because the next drone doesn't just carry 1 or 2 people. It's designed to move entire groups through the sky at speeds that rival cars on highways. The Archer Midnight is one of the most talked about electric air vehicles in the United States. Designed to carry 4 passengers plus a pilot. This aircraft uses 12 electric rotors, some fixed and some tilting, allowing it to take off vertically and then cruise forward like an airplane. What makes the Midnight special isn't just how it flies, but how fast it fits into real life. It's designed for quick trips from city centers to airports, turning hour-long car rides into flights that take minutes. During testing, a prototype completed a flight from Manhattan to JFK Airport in just 7 minutes. That trip normally takes nearly an hour by car. Major airlines are already lining up, placing orders, and preparing routes. This isn't experimental anymore. It's becoming infrastructure, and just when you think urban air mobility can't get more ambitious, the next aircraft enters the scene from across the Atlantic. Built in the United Kingdom, the Vertical Aerospace VX4 looks like a sleek private jet that learned how to hover. It carries 4 passengers and a pilot, reaches speeds close to 200 miles per hour, and flies far enough to connect entire cities. Inside, it's quiet, comfortable, and designed to feel nothing like a helicopter. Outside, it's drawing attention from some of the biggest airlines in the world. We're only halfway through this list, and things are about to get even bigger, stranger, and more powerful. Because next, we leave city skies behind and enter a world where drones refuel fighter jets, cross oceans alone, and watch entire countries from the edge of space. And trust me, the next machine will completely change how you think about what a drone really is. Asterisk, asterisk. Now we're leaving the crowded city skies behind. Because the next drone on this journey wasn't built for short hops or daily commutes. It was built to change aviation on a much larger scale. Imagine a flying machine that looks less like a drone and more like a private jet. Yet it runs entirely on electricity and has no traditional engines. That's exactly what the Lilium jet brings to the table. Developed in Germany, this aircraft breaks almost every design rule you expect. Instead of big spinning rotors, it uses 36 small electric ducted fans hidden inside its wings and flaps. You don't see them from a distance, and that's part of the magic. When the Lilium jet takes off, the flaps tilt downward, pushing air straight toward the ground. Once airborne, they rotate backward, turning the aircraft into a fast, efficient airplane. The result is a smooth transition that feels more like a jet than a helicopter. It can cruise at around 170 miles per hour and fly farther than most electric air vehicles ever built. That range means it's not just for cities. It's designed to connect entire regions, replacing long car drives and short airline routes with quiet and electric flights. Inside, the Lilium jet feels closer to a luxury lounge than a cockpit. Comfortable seating, wide windows, and a calm, silent cabin experience make it feel like the future of regional travel. Investors around the world took notice, pouring massive funding into the project. When it appeared in documentaries and air shows, people didn't call it a drone. They called it the first true electric jet. But while Lilium focuses on elegance and efficiency, the next aircraft takes a more practical approach, asking a very different question. How do we make flying drones affordable enough for everyday use? That question led to the creation of the Autoflight Prosperity One. At first glance, it doesn't look as flashy as some of the others. But that's exactly the point. This aircraft was designed with simplicity, stability, and mass production in mind. Instead of reinventing everything, its creators focused on what already works and made it electric. It uses 8 vertical lift rotors and 2 rear propellers for forward flight. The design is clean, logical, and surprisingly effective. Asterisk, asterisk, the Prosperity One can carry 3 passengers, fly long distances on a single charge, and operate in real-world weather conditions. During testing, it completed record-breaking flights across Germany, proving that electric air vehicles aren't limited to short demonstration hops. It even flew through light rain and crosswinds without issue, something many early electric aircraft struggled with. This drone isn't trying to be the fanciest in the sky. It's trying to be the one you actually see flying above cities in the near future. And that's what makes it dangerous to the competition. While others chase luxury or extreme performance, the Prosperity One focuses on cost, reliability, and scale. If urban air travel is ever going to become normal, it needs aircraft like this. But now it's time for a hard turn. Because the next drones on this list don't carry commuters or tourists. They carry fuel, surveillance systems, and strategic power. This is where drones stop being futuristic taxis and start becoming game changers on the global stage. Picture an aircraft carrier in the middle of the ocean. Jets launch, land, and refuel constantly. Every mission depends on fuel. For decades, that job required manned tanker aircraft. Then came the MQ-25 Stingray. This drone doesn't carry people. It carries fuel, and it does something no other drone had ever done before. It takes off and lands on aircraft carriers completely autonomously. Built by Boeing for the United States Navy, the MQ-25 is massive. It's about the size of a fighter jet and powered by a jet engine similar to those used in commercial planes. It can fly hundreds of miles and deliver thousands of pounds of fuel to aircraft in midair. And it does all of this without a pilot on board. During historic test flights, the MQ-25 successfully refueled fighter jets while both aircraft were in motion, marking the first time an autonomous drone performed aerial refueling in real combat conditions. This drone isn't flashy. It doesn't need to be. Its value comes from what it enables. By handling refueling missions, it frees up manned aircraft for combat roles and extends the operational range of entire fleets. In simple terms, it makes air forces stronger, faster, and more flexible. Many experts say this single drone quietly changed naval aviation forever. But as impressive as it is, it still doesn't prepare you for the final giant on this list, because the next drone doesn't just support missions. It watches the world high above the clouds, far higher than commercial airliners ever fly. There's a machine that can stay in the air for more than 30 hours straight. No pilot, no cockpit, just sensors, cameras, and artificial intelligence scanning massive areas of the planet below. This is the RQ-4 Global Hawk, and it's one of the largest and most advanced unmanned aircraft ever built. With a wingspan comparable to a commercial jet, the Global Hawk looks more like a glider than a drone. But don't let the shape fool you. From altitudes above 60,000 feet, it can monitor tens of thousands of square miles in a single mission. Its sensors can detect movement, track vehicles, and capture detailed images day or night, through clouds and storms. While satellites orbit the Earth on fixed paths, the Global Hawk can be redirected in real time, flying exactly where it's needed. Originally designed for military surveillance, it has since proven useful in unexpected ways. During natural disasters, it's been used to map flooded regions, track wildfires, and assist in humanitarian response efforts. NASA even operates its own version of the Global Hawk, flying it directly into hurricanes to gather data no human-piloted aircraft could safely collect. This drone doesn't just observe history. It helps shape it. And here's the most unsettling part. Once it takes off, it doesn't need constant control. It plans routes, avoids weather, and manages fuel on its own. Humans monitor. The machine decides. That's the real pattern you might be starting to notice. Across every drone on this list, from air taxis to military giants, control is slowly shifting away from human hands. We're almost at the end of this journey. But before we wrap it all together, there's one final idea you need to sit with. These drones aren't experiments anymore. They're not prototypes. They're flying today, quietly, efficiently, and often invisibly. And that raises a question that's bigger than any single aircraft. Asterisk, by now you might be thinking that drones are simply replacing pilots, making flight cheaper or more efficient. But that's only the surface. What's really happening is much bigger. These machines are quietly rewriting the rules of the sky. For over 100 years, aviation, was built around human lineage. Human reaction time, human endurance, human risk. Drones don't share those limits. They don't get tired. They don't panic. They don't need oxygen. And that's why the next generation of aircraft is growing larger, flying higher, and staying airborne longer than anything humans could safely operate. Take endurance, for example. Traditional pilots can only stay alert for so long. Aircraft need rest. Crews need rotation. But drones like the Global Hawk can fly for more than a full day without stopping. That changes surveillance, disaster response, border monitoring, and even climate research. It means one aircraft can do the job of many. It means fewer gaps, fewer blind spots, and faster decisions. That same logic is now being applied to cargo transport, emergency response, and even space-adjacent operations. Some of the largest cargo drones currently in development are designed to replace trucks and ships on critical routes. Instead of roads, they use the sky. Instead of drivers, they use algorithms. In remote regions where roads barely exist, these drones can deliver medical supplies, food, and equipment without needing infrastructure. During emergencies, they can be launched within minutes, flying directly to areas cut off by floods, earthquakes, or conflict. Size matters here. Bigger drones mean longer range, heavier payloads, and fewer trips, but size also brings power. And that's where things get complicated. Military drones started small, focused on reconnaissance. Then they grew larger, faster, and more capable. Now, machines like the MQ-25 and Global Hawk aren't just tools. They're force multipliers. They extend the reach of entire air forces without putting pilots at risk. And once autonomy enters, the picture response times shrink even further. Decisions that once took minutes now happen in seconds. In modern warfare, that speed can change outcomes. This raises uncomfortable questions. When a drone can take off, navigate, complete a mission, and land without a human touching the controls, where does responsibility live? Who is accountable when something goes wrong? These aren't science fiction debates anymore. Governments, engineers, and regulators are dealing with them right now as these aircraft move from test programs into daily operations. But it's not all about conflict. In fact, some of the most exciting changes are happening in civilian life. Imagine living in a city where traffic jams are optional, where reaching the airport takes minutes instead of hours, where emergency responders arrive from the air before sirens are even heard. That's the promise behind urban air mobility. And it only works because drones are getting bigger, smarter, and more reliable. Noise used to be one of the biggest barriers. Helicopters are loud. Cities hate them. But electric drones changed that equation. Distributed rotors, optimized flight paths, and smooth transitions make these aircraft far quieter than anything before them. Some are so quiet that people on the ground barely notice them passing overhead. That's not a small improvement. That's the difference between rejection and acceptance. Another invisible revolution is maintenance. Traditional aircraft require constant checks, human inspection, and complex schedules. Many of these new drones are built with predictive systems that monitor their own health. Sensors detect wear, vibration, and temperature changes in real time. Instead of waiting for something to break, the aircraft knows when it needs attention. That reduces costs, increases safety, and keeps fleets flying longer. And then there's autonomy. This is the part that makes people uneasy, but also makes everything possible. Autonomous flight doesn't mean the machine is reckless. It means it's focused. It follows rules without distraction. It reacts faster than humans ever could. In dense airspace where hundreds of vehicles may eventually share the sky, that level of precision isn't optional. It's required. Right now, regulators are building new frameworks from scratch. Airspace design for pilots and air traffic controllers must evolve to include algorithms and artificial intelligence. It's a massive challenge, but progress is happening faster than most people realize. Some passenger drones already operate under limited approvals. Others are moving through certification processes that didn't even exist a decade ago. And here's the part that often gets overlooked. Once the infrastructure is in place, scaling becomes easy. Roads take years to build. Rail lines take decades. Airspace is already there. Once a city supports drone operations, adding more vehicles doesn't require pouring concrete or tearing up streets. It just requires coordination, software, power. That's why companies, governments, and militaries are investing billions into these systems. They see the long game. They know that whoever controls the skies controls speed, access, and information. And drones are the key to that control. But there's also something strangely poetic about it. For the first time, humans are building flying machines that don't need us inside them. Machines that explore storms, watch forests burn, map disaster zones, and deliver hope where roads fail. In many cases, removing the human makes the mission more humane, safer, faster, more effective. Still, it's fair to feel uneasy. Any technology this powerful comes with risk. Privacy concerns, security threats, misuse. These conversations matter, and they're happening now. The difference is that we're no longer debating whether this future will arrive. We're debating how we'll live with it. Look up the next time you're outside. You might see nothing, but somewhere above there's a good chance a machine is flying without a pilot, making decisions on its own, guided by lines of code written by people who may never see it in action. That's the world we're entering, and the biggest question isn't whether these drones are real. You already know they are. The real question is how comfortable you are sharing the sky with machines that never blink.